Sweet bananas. Cool, as you guys can see here, we're riding the GSX SF 250, liquid cooled, fuel injected 250 with the good old ABS. Very, very cool looking bike. I like the blue and the green and the grey and the silver and all the colours that they are. Yeah, 2020, it is for sale. It's 46.5 grand. South African Rand, for those who are wondering. It's got a very, very cool display. Very, very cool. Ooh, jeepers, this thing's leg height is much, much, much higher than what I thought. Ooh, this is going to be fun. So this is going to be quite an informal ride review. We're going to stop, hopefully just get some cool walk-arounds and some cool images. And yeah, we will see how she do. So what's actually really nice straight away is that it's got a gear indicator, it's got a fuel gauge, it's got your mileage, it's got your speedometer obviously, and then a nice little rev counter up and over it, at the top. Initial overall ergonomics, super comfortable, super comfortable, more comfortable than my 150 because it's nice and big. I just can't see out my rearview mirror. Don't know why. There. So I mean, you know, hopping off my 150, the first thing that you notice immediately is the seat height. It feels like you're almost sitting kind of over the bike. My arms are nice and straight. It's not a touring bike comfort, but it's almost there. It's very close. Like I could definitely replace my 150 with one of these one day. Your rearview mirrors also nice and wide. You can see very clearly out of them. The one issue with my 150 is that they're a little bit narrow. Yes, it is a bit more race oriented in very wide inverted commas. But I mean, yeah, this thing's fantastic. For 46,500 bucks, this is yours. You can speak to Stefan at Suzuki South. This thing is awesome. I'm stoked. The clutch is amazing. The button spacing is very good. You got your lights here, you got your indicator, you got your hooter, you got your run and your kill. You've got your different headlight modes. So you got your off, your daylight running mode, and your main lights, and you got obviously the little starter button. The button feels also really nice. It's like nice and like simple, you know, it's not hard or horrible or anything. Look, the only thing that I'm kind of still getting used to on this bike is the way you sit. It kind of almost feels like as if I'm falling over the bike. It's kind of weird feeling. But I suppose it'll take some getting used to. In terms of cornering, you can see how this do here. It's actually very balanced. Like I don't feel as if there's too much weight or too little weight. It actually feels very planted. You know, you can throw it around quite nicely. To be honest, if I was north of 20 years old and I wanted a kind of commuter bike to learn on and a beginner bike, I actually would probably have this over a 150 because you've got just enough power to kind of make passes and ride onto the highways and stuff. Whereas the 150 is a bit of a struggle. I also think the 150 is a little bit on the small side. Now sitting on this, like I feel much more comfortable. I'm probably 181, I think it is, and I've got quite long legs. My legs are nice and bent here, but it feels good. The initial impressions of this bike is actually very good. I'm really stoked. See, I'm in 6th gear. You can pull it and you actually go. Like the bike's got a decent amount of torque. In terms of specs and power and all that goodness, I will be chatting to you a little bit later on that because I'm doing just kind of a first impression while I ride to work. And then after I've ridden to work, then I'll be able to, yeah, kind of go through all the other little things that I picked up on some of my friends' opinions, you know, what they like, what they don't like. Just kind of give you guys a bit more of a broad opinion on it. What I also do like is this LED display. This is what they call the flip display. So it's not the normal, you know, that kind of greeny background of the black writing. This is black with the green writing. So it makes it a lot easier to see in all conditions. If I turn my lights off here, okay, nothing changed, it just goes a bit brighter. But I mean, a lot of people modify their bikes for this look. You basically remove a certain layer of something in the original screen, and it creates this black. I know the MT-07 and MT-09 guys do it very often, just to kind of improve the look and the visibility of what they see. So let's go for overtake here. Picks up nicely. You can really feel the power coming alive just above 6.5, 7. Actually quite nice. Cornering feels very stable. The rear brake is a little bit soft for my liking. The front brake feels very, very comfortable. I do like it. But I'm also used to coming off a little 150 and a VFR 800 with twin brake. So if you pull the front and the rear. It doesn't have a quick shifter, but man, this bike's easy to quick shift. So yeah, overall I'm really happy. I really, really like this bike. It's actually a lot better than what I thought it would be. I was thinking kind of my 150, but just a little bit bigger kind of thing, and not really different at all. I'm not going to be a hooligan and try and get this thing out to its top speed, or go onto the rev limiter or anything like that, because it's brand new, and also it's very, very kind of Suzuki South to lend this to us for a while. I see that rear brake though. It's nice, but it is quite spongy. In terms of suspension, when you hit a pothole like this, it's actually not bad. It's very comfortable, very smooth, very easy. You've got, obviously the entry-level bike suspension is very basic. There are not many bikes that come with adjustable suspension, or very tricked out Öhlins, or that kind of thing. It's kind of more basic, simple, just to make it affordable. Otherwise it's going to be hugely expensive, and not many beginner riders are going to want to get into them because they're obviously unaffordable. So with what this bike has, it feels amazing. It really, really feels fantastic. The only thing I would really like to do is compare this to something like a BMW 310R or the Zonte's 310 to see how it compares, because this is about 20 grand cheaper than a Zonte's, but obviously you're getting that Suzuki build quality, which is what a lot of people want. Personally, I don't see this being a lot slower than the 310R. Considering they're not really mass performance bikes. I think if I had the choice, I would actually save the 20 grand, buy some nice equipment like some boots and a helmet and whatnot, and ride this. It looks the part. You got a nice, the tank holds your knees here nicely. Overall, this thing's fantastic. Very, very easy to go flat foot, as you guys can see here with my McDonald's special socks. In terms of noise, this thing doesn't make a fantastic noise due to obviously the Euro regulations that a lot of these manufacturers have to follow, but it makes a better noise than my 150. It's very pleasant to ride. I mean, I've ridden now for about 10 minutes and it's fantastic. I'm very happy with it. Seat is fantastic, very, very comfortable, nice and wide. Also nice big pillion seats, so if you were to take a friend or your girlfriend or your wife or whoever, fantastic. I wouldn't fault it. See, one thing is that because this bike is so quiet, I catch myself obviously often doing a little bit over the speed limit, which is not a problem really, but it's one of those things that if there's no noise, you don't know how fast you're going. My 150, if you get to like 80, 85. You can really hear it and you feel it. You vibrate from the ground up. But I mean, overall, if I didn't buy my 150 and my 800, I would have seriously considered buying one of these and something else. So another question that I get asked quite often is, what is it like to do highway speeds? So we're coming up to a section just now where I can get up to 120 and sit with it and see kind of how it goes. Because obviously a lot of people are going to buy these to commute on, and they need to make sure that it can sit comfortably at 100, 120. So this is uphill in 6th gear. Let's see how it gets to 100. Okay, 100. There is quite a lot of, not a lot of vibration, but there is some vibration. I feel very confident on this bike. You know, some bikes you get onto and you're a bit nervous on how they corner and how they ride, but this is absolutely fantastic. This maybe even rivals or beats the Suzuki vehicle category in terms of like build quality and enjoyment of use. This is really fun.
5 hours later.
So this is the second half of the video. As I said to you guys, I'd be filming one in the morning and then one in the afternoon on the way back. The whole time at work I was itching to go out and ride it. I really enjoy riding this thing, surprisingly enough. It's got the power, it's got everything that's needed. It sits happily at about 100. It does top out at about 120, 125. But what's very interesting about this is that it makes double the power of my 150. So my 150 makes 12 kilowatts, this makes 24. But what's interesting though is that it doesn't feel that much faster. I have a feeling that, you know, obviously from an initial pull away, because this has more torque, that it would be, you know, this would be quite a bit ahead. But as soon as you hit like 100, 120, the 150 will start creeping and start catching. I mean, this bike is just amazing in these twisties. Like, it just, I feel so confident. I feel so like comfortable hooking it here. I mean, even the same amount of confidence that I have in my 150, maybe even more. You know, it's got a very clear display to it, so you can just look down immediately, see what gear you're in, see what speed you're doing, see how much fuel you have, see what your RPM is. You know, you don't have to ever look around and spend time looking. Everything is just right in front of you. This little LCD display that they've got is awesome. The fuel tank is also something I didn't talk about earlier. It's a 12-litre tank and it costs about 210 rand to fill. It's a perfect little commuter if you don't want something boring and you want something that looks like sporty and fun. The build quality is also really, really good. Like, I'm trying to find little pieces earlier that are loose and that can wiggle off, but nothing. It's really, really well put together. The seat also fantastic. It's very comfortable, lots of grip. I'm not finding myself sliding around like I do on my 150, but it is also a new seat. So the new seat, the leather is nice and tacky and grippy, and it's got that like matte finish to it, where if you have a look at my one, because it's dirty and it's got rainwater and stuff on it, it becomes like shiny and slippery. I understand it is quite expensive at 46,500. That is the price if you go and speak to Stefan at Suzuki South. But I think it, you know, if you're just a normal human who owns one motorbike and not two or three or four, and you just want one thing that does everything, you can't go wrong with this. Oh yeah, feel that power.